have to evolve to the market, otherwise you die, which is kind of the theme of the podcast today, right? Like you got to evolve with the tech. Otherwise you're going to be saying, what the tech happened?
What the tech happened, especially with Amazon. It seems like the pace. If you were selling before the pandemic, you could expect major news once a quarter. Now it seems like it's coming out once a week, and not just major news, things that have big impact on every seller.
They're changing the logistics systems to a PPC auction house. You now have to bid on your storage space. That was not on my bingo card, guys. I get it. I knew the system was broken. They had IPI score, and then they had to do restock limits, and both of those don't even make sense together. So obviously they had to do something different. But an auction house for storage space? No, I don't know if this is going to be a good old boy system or if it's going to be a capitalist system or somewhere in between, maybe a hybrid of all of the above. I don't know.
You're listening to
What
the Tech.
Welcome to the What the Tech podcast, where we talk about business and office technology and put our 20 years of expertise to discussing trends and issues impacting the workplace.
Hi there, it is Rolando Rosas right here at this desk.
And this is Dave Kelly right over at this desk.
Awesome, and welcome to What the Tech, everybody. Today, we have a very, very, 5 times very, Dave, very special guest joining us, Stephen Pope, the master guru when it comes to all things related to Amazon. And Dave, I don't throw those words around lightly. There's a lot of folks that can talk about Amazon, that can consult on Amazon, but not all of them are master gurus that have their finger on the pulse like Stephen does.
I definitely agree. We got real lucky having Stephen Pope on the show today.
I know. I'm grateful for him showing up today. And, I just want to jump into something that I saw recently, that Amazon is starting to lay people off, Dave, 18,000 plus. I just hope that when, it's all said and done, we could still get packages over to FBA on time. They could process them within a reasonable amount of time and deliver stuff same day or next day. Although, I have my doubts. I order from Amazon all the time.
Same.
And I'm seeing slower and slower delivery times and longer lead times to get stuff out, even with Prime.
I hope it doesn't have too much of a delay. I'm actually waiting on something that I ordered from Prime. I need to have it in before my wife's birthday tomorrow. So come on, Amazon. Don't let me down
that
over
or they got to bring back Jeff Bezos. There weren't any problems like that when he was running the helm. I don't know what's going on there in the C-suite, but we'll ask Stephen to weigh in on that as well.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he's got a bunch of stuff.
Before we bring on our guest, got to give big props to somebody out there, Rolando.
Yeah. Who's that? Who's the big props? Who are we giving big props out to today?
Listen, because we're talking Amazon, I want to talk about one of the Amazon sellers that we had on the show not too long ago. Big props to Seneca Hampton. Not only was Seneca a guest on our show, but he was also a guest on a little well-known show on television called Shark Tank. Wow. Really cool guy. So he's killing it with Amazon. He sells athletic tape, all types of athletic tape. I love what he's doing out there. I love his store. I love his approach. I really like the interview. So if you like that interview, you can check out that episode and other past episodes on circuitloops.com.
All right. And Dave, that brand is called Hampton Adams. Let's get right into talking about our guest. Let me tell you a little bit about Stephen Pope. Stephen Pope is the founder of My Amazon Guy, a 300-plus person Amazon seller agency right out of the Atlanta area. His agency helps sellers with growth on Amazon, as well as other marketplaces with PPC, SEO, design, and catalog management, probably the hardest thing to do on Amazon today. He's also an Eagle Scout. Get that? And like I said earlier, a master guru when it comes to Amazon. And he has a weekly podcast that's live. Ask Me Any Amazon Question. And he's got a whole bunch of other stuff that he just recently launched. Pope Plus, a service that allows you to have access to Stephen and his Amazon selling process with guided coaching. Who wouldn't want to have somebody like Steven at your fingertips, helping you, guiding you through the process? Let's welcome to the show, Steven Pope.
Wow, quite the intro. Thank you.
Awesome.
Nice to have you.
I'm hyped to see myself.
I just telling Dave, you're in this industry. The crowd and the folks that run in this industry, there's a lot of charlatans, a lot of people right now on social media talking gobbledygook nonsense about how to be successful on Amazon. But you're actually one of those tried and true persons that's been around for a while. You've seen it all, and you're actually helping people make a difference in their businesses.
Well, they call it the Passion of the Christ, right? Like that movie everybody's may have seen. And that word passion actually means to enjoy the suffering of.
There's a lot of suffering on Amazon, by the way.
And so nobody in our space selling on Amazon would be doing what they do, let alone servicing the 300 brands we work with, unless they enjoyed that passion, that suffering that's involved. Because there's a lot of it.
No doubt.
Hey, Steven, we have a lot of questions for you. Before we jump into that, Rolando, I just want to do a quick read from our sponsor, if I can.
Go for it, Dave.
All right. Listen, if you are a remote worker, you know that background noise can be a major distraction and make you sound unprofessional on calls with clients. Don't let that be the case any longer. Steven, don't you hate it when you get a call and the person on the other line sounds like it's like they work in a veterinarian clinic. You hear all these dogs and people and background noise and echo. Man,
I used to be a call center employee, and I would take
he knows what we're talking about.
With truckers, and truckers don't care. They'll take you into the bathroom. They'll drop a Duke while they're on the call. It doesn't matter. If you're a truck driver, this product's for you.
Well, listen. If you've cheaped out and you're using a $20 headset and you don't sound professional, if you want to sound better to your clients, it's time to upgrade. You know what? With over 20 years of experience, Global Teck can help you sound like a pro, even in a noisy home environment. Don't let your competitors get ahead while you're struggling to be heard. Upgrade your sound quality with Global Teck today and never miss out on an opportunity to impress your clients again. Check them out at amazon.com/tech, TECK. Back to you.
Awesome, Reed. Thank you, Dave. And you know what? Speaking of truckers, we actually sell quite a bit to truckers. Steven was saying that truckers will go in the bathroom and take a Duke while they're on the phone, because that's just the call of duty, right? You got to be on the road, and sometimes nature calls.
Is that the name of the product right there?
Take a Duke.
I heard the guys that made the unicorn commercial, like the Spotty Potty marketing guys.
Yes, maybe there's something to that.
That group was from BYU.
Yeah, really? They were?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Mormons are really funny. I'm saying this because I am one. So I
was just before we got on here to do the podcast, I was just on a call with somebody in your backyard, Brandon and Will Christensen out of Seller Labs, and his folks, really good people. Tyler, he's also Seller accountant. All these folks, they're your folks as well. They're in your backyard, and I believe they're also Mormons, correct?
Everybody but Tyler. So Tyler and I started our business at the same exact time, and we got to see each other grow. We actually had to go to Prosper Show out west to meet each other and then come back to the Atlanta area. But yeah, I got to give a shout out to Seller Accountant. They sent 11 clients our way, and our first 40 clients. 11.
Woo!
So I wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for Tyler.
All right, Tyler. Big props to Tyler. Keep it going, man. Keep sending them a pipeline of customers. So I want to get into this with you. We touched on this a little bit the last time we spoke. ChatGPT and artificial intelligence. But wow. I'm putting words in your mouth, but I want to ask you, what technology are you really geeking out on? Is it the AI, or is it something else that you're geeking out on right now?
There is no question about it, right? This is a leading question for a good reason. And that is because ChatGPT is going to change the freaking world. It's not going to just change the marketing department. It's going to change the world, right? My favorite saying that I've seen going around on Reddit and all the forums right now is, you're not going to lose your job to a robot. You're going to lose your job to somebody, if you're a copywriter, that is. If you're a copywriter today, you're going to lose your job to somebody that knows how to use the AI better than you. right? Like the speed, the performance, the things that are coming out on this is just unreal. So right now, if you guys wanted a 1,000 word essay written in the tone of voice of Spock while he was gurgling underwater and talk to me about how to do brain surgery, we could tell ChatGPT to do that and it would pull up 1,000 words in another 30 seconds and it would 100% be in Spock's voice.
Okay.
And so like the impact is immensely massive, right? It's going to change everything as it comes to communication worldwide. Why would you ever go to Google to get the recipe for something when now you can use AI to show you the whole meal? They'll just deliver you the meal. And I don't mean like cooking and going and getting a recipe off Google and then you make it. What I'm trying to show with that metaphor is that it will not only tell you how and what to do and what the understanding of the information is, it'll give you the finished product. Beam me up, Scotty, Star Trek style. So this is a major tech advancement. Now I'm going to give you a couple of quick hacks that you can do.
Go for it.
today.
Oh, wait, hold up. Let's do a pro tip before you give us those hacks. Ori.
Get ready for a pro tip.
I'm going to stroll
Pro
out
tip.
into the African savannah while I give this tip out.
Absolutely.
With
Pro
Morgan
tip.
Freeman's voice.
Pro tip numero uno.
Download
Hit it.
WhatsApp and put in the phone number for Keepy, and you can get WhatsApp access while the website's down. Pro tip 2, download the app on Slack for ChatGPT. And while you're in Slack, you can tell it what you need. You don't even have to leave your ecosystem. There's so many different ways to access the AI now that you can program automations to get the information and write out everything you need. You can ask it to write 100 LinkedIn posts right now. You could tell it, download the 1,500 videos that Stephen Pope has on YouTube and create 100 new blog posts. It can do all of that.
Freaking awesome. And I took you up on something you just said. We call ChatGPT internally Eddie because it's hard to say ChatGPT as much
really
as we
is.
say it around. So I just asked Eddie. I took you up. I said, act as the character Spock from Star Trek and give me a brief description under 100 words about selling on Amazon. Here's what Eddie, aka ChatGPT, said. Selling on Amazon is a logical choice for businesses and individuals looking to expand their reach and increase profit. The platform offers a vast customer-based, streamlined process and advanced analytics to assist in optimizing sales. However, it is important to note that competition is fierce and adherence to Amazon's guidelines and regulations is essential for success.
We should ask it next to do a poem about how awful seller support is.
Do a poem. In what voice do you want it
I've
to
already
say?
written that.
In Spock's voice?
Let's do Yoda.
Okay, do a poem
Yoda's voice.
using
How bad is Jeff Bezos and seller support? It's awful.
the voice of Yoda about how bad seller support is on Amazon. And I'm going to put I'll put under 100 words, okay? That way it's not
Sometimes when you tell
essay.
just write a poem, it'll just give you like the 4 stanzas. It's pretty good.
All right, here we go. It's spitting out results right now. Here we go. Seller support. So weak it is. Oh, let me try to get Yoda. You probably could do this better than I can. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of me reading it, I want you to read it. You probably could do that better. Yeah, I know you like that kind of thing.
I picked the wrong one to do this. Seller support, so weak it is on Amazon. It does not exist to help with issues. They do not try, leaving merchants to their own devices to die, frustrated and lost. They do feel Amazon's neglect. It is real.
It is real, my Yoda.
Yes, we should have had him do it.
I'll give it a try. I'll give it my legal blast here. Seller support is so weak it is on Amazon. It does not exist to help people with issues. They do not try leaving merchants to their own devices to die frustrated and lost. They do feel Amazon's neglect. It is real.
I was
I'm going to
pretty
give
good.
myself a clap as well as Steven for trying. You get an A for effort. So you are right when it comes to artificial intelligence. It is here. The future is here. We've been talking about it. And given the other applications out there right now, use other stuff, and it'll work. It does the job for kind of writing. But they did one thing that was really genius. Actually, I'll give two. The first is they kept the user interface simple, not complicated, not with 100 other things going on, like a lot of other stuff, just simple. And a throwback to the DOS where you have that flashing prompt. So if you're old enough, you could remember that's how computer terminals, as they were called back then, and they would spit out things like that in that flashing way.
And it was like green. Remember, the screens were like
green screen and computer terminal. I remember back in college, we were all excited. Oh my God, look at this crazy thing. Then the second part is they really upped the game when it came to rolling this out. 1 million users in 5 days. I think I took 52 days for Instagram to get there. And Instagram is a social media platform that people use to share everything, right? They did it in 5 days. I think nerds are back in, data scientists are back in. Hey, shout out to ChatGPT and OpenAI for making this a wild success so far. Now Microsoft's going to throw $10 billion.
$10 billion.
10 with a B, billion.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna take Google out. This is the thing that killed Google.
You think it's a Google killer? Prediction, Steven.
Absolutely. How could this not kill Google? Why you don't even need to go to Google anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about how this is going to change college. Why do I need to go to college to learn how to write a paper anymore? I don't. Like one dude could write his entire thesis, his master's thesis, in 30 seconds.
No.
The access to information changes everything. And so a lot of the bureaucracy is just going to be cut in half by this. So the ad revenue, I think within 12 months, we'll see a solid 25% of Google's ad revenue go into AI.
Wow.
It's just, it's in the words of Spock, it's logical.
And it's going to be very interesting because Google just is clapping back right now. They've had AI, but they just haven't released it. And I think they got caught sleeping.
They're going to Kodak themselves, let's be honest.
Ooh, now that's some fighting words because Kodak was sitting on the technology. You know this. They were sitting on the technology to do, what we have on our smartphones today, and they poo-pooed it. They said, yeah, who wants to do that? They could have owned the photo space like Google and Apple do. And they said, won't do it. So let me ask you about this. Undoubtedly, AI is here. It's today. It's the future is here today, or we're back to the future. You can use whatever terminology are. But tell me, Stephen, what do you think some of the dangers are if people ignore this technology and decide, I'm going to sit back, let's develop another year go by? Or what's the downside?
Example. Yeah, I'm launching a product tomorrow. I need copy today. If I tried to hire a copy person off of Upwork or some sort of third-party service, a contractor, neighbor down the street, it on average would take them 5 days to deliver that listing copy back. Now, if I want to launch this product tomorrow, that's a problem. Now, companies like MAG who embrace AI can deliver that within 30 minutes and program it and then put in the code and then upload it. So it's going to bring costs down for marketing deliveries tremendously. And so there's going to be resistance to this, but the overwhelming adoption, it's clear, right? Like you see the chatbot going down and the access points not being available because it freaking works. It's so instantaneous and it's so seamless, right? And so that's the risk. If people don't adopt it, they're literally going to be competing against something that can outmaneuver them and do a week's worth of work in under 30 seconds.
Wow. Dave, I know we're on it. We have a team nowhere near as big as your 300 plus folks all over the world. I know you've got support folks that are based around the world. But wait, I'm being told
Pakistan, Argentina, Spain, and everywhere in between.
Man, boy, we could just do a show on that. That's something that I think a lot of sellers, small and large, some are already dabbling with, but I don't think they know how to really use that to their advantage today. There's a lot of mystery there. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of contradictory stuff. And I know that you've launched a marketplace of sort because of your frustrations around getting talent to your agency. That's essentially, I didn't want to say, I wanted you to say that.
No, it's I got canceled, guys. Like I used their I hired 100 people through Indeed, and Indeed basically started claiming that I wasn't offering real jobs. And I'm like,
What?
yeah, like I escalated it all the way to the top and I lost. I got canceled. So I was like, F you guys, I'm starting SolarCentralJobs.com.
Wow.
And I had 28,000 people apply to MAG in the last 12 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which
Let
is
me
insane.
wait. That's no little number. Let's just back up. 28K. Woo.
That's a real number. Like we have applications stored for 28,000 people. That's just 12 months. That's just the last 12 months. But in the last
you found you found a market that was underserved. It even sounds like by accident because they didn't want you to do what you wanted to do. Now you found an underserved market.
So you're an Amazon seller. Do you want to hire an unqualified person to run your account?
No, not for my account. We've been on there way too long to let an amateur just jump in the reins.
Exactly. Right. So there's an overwhelming demand for Amazon skills. Now here's the problem. How many people have Amazon skills?
And you don't go to school for it, so very little.
And colleges are like 30 years behind. They're not just 5 years behind, they're 30 years behind. Right? Mm-hmm. Like Amazon's been around forever. There's no Amazon master's degree, which means you have to go pay your tax. That means you got to go make mistakes. And if you hire somebody that doesn't have road rash, guess what happens? They make mistakes on your account. Mm-hmm. Right? So
costly mistakes at that.
So we hired 100 interns this year. Now, some of you be like, well, why would Steven want to tell anybody that? Oh man, I don't want to hire Mag now. They hired interns. Well, here's the thing. I trained 100 interns and put them through my specialized program. I got Mag School, I got 500 SOPs, and I put them through a grueling learning process. And now they outperform the market. And so like technology, training, learning, I think there's a shortage of 50,000 qualified Amazon experts right now, which, you know, even in the intro, you're like, yeah, most Amazon experts are charlatans. Where does that sentiment come from? I don't think it's because there's nefarious actors out there on purpose. I think it's because they just get in over their head. They don't have the experience. The market is in its infancy. Right. And so this is what happens. The same thing happened in Google. The same thing is going to happen in TikTok and all these different verticals. Eventually, they're all going to combine together, combine forces. There will be a market standard and then things will even out. But the fact of the matter is businesses are going to have to solve this problem one way or another. And so we made the number one core value at MAG learning, and we teach everything.
I love it.
With Amazon changing every day, if they did have a 4-year degree or a 6-year degree to become a master Amazon seller, it would change so fast right after that anyway. So I love that you've put together your own courses for your own people. You're giving people an opportunity to do something new and learn something where they couldn't learn it somewhere else. So that's really awesome, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, you have to evolve to the market, otherwise you die, which is the theme of the podcast today, right? You got to evolve with the tech. Otherwise, you're going to be saying, what the tech happened?
What the tech happened, especially with Amazon. Amazon, you know, it seems like the pace. If you were selling before the pandemic, you could expect major news once a quarter. Now it seems like it's coming out once a week. And not just major things that have big impact on every seller.
They're changing the logistics systems to a PPC auction house. You now have to bid on your storage space. Mm-hmm. That was not on my bingo card, guys.
Yeah,
I get it. I knew the system was broken. They had IPI score, and then they had to do restock limits, and both of those don't even make sense together. So obviously they had to do something different. But an auction house for storage space? No, I don't know if this is going to be a good old boy system or if it's going to be a capitalist system or somewhere in between, maybe a hybrid of all of the above. I don't know.
Well, it changes the game if you are all in on Amazon. And I would say, and you depend on that storage of your products at Amazon. If you don't have a 3PL or somewhere else where you can park your inventory, it's definitely going to be more of a nail biter than those folks that may have another facility or somewhere else where they could keep inventory.
You know what I just realized? Amazon seller support, as terrible as it is, should be entirely gutted and replaced with ChatGPT.
They could do a better job. At least replace it and give you responses in the Spock of Yoda.
I would prefer that versus the 70% fluff copy paste we get today. Well, can you imagine if they took the knowledge base, take my knowledge base, for example, Amazon, I give you permission to use my 1,500 videos and all of my SOPs. Yeah. Program ChatGPT to answer any Amazon question and put it into seller support and then gut the system.
All right, here it is.
I think it would work.
Yeah. Look, that's the working thesis behind you. It could scrape all that data and a human would be able to interact with it. And they could actually do text to speech and have an actual virtual bot talk to you with a response. That's happening today. You were in the call center space. You know that AI has been part of what the leading edge call centers are using today. They use AI on the back end to give you sentiment, as well as we heard from a guest that was on from Zoom a couple of weeks ago. He says the software will give you a response to say to that customer. They come in with a complaint or this is not working. And if they know that Johnny last week had an answer and the customer was satisfied, it would give you that, hey, prompt this as a response for the person that's complaining because Johnny was able to solve it last week. So
I think if they had that knowledge confirmed, like a rating system, what Elon Musk was doing with Twitter, right? With this information has been disputed by the audience and it's been uploaded by 7,000 people. Yeah. What if they did that inside of seller support, right? How do I change a UPC? How do I change a brand name? All of these things that Amazon is telling you you have to do but can't do at the same time, and created all these paradoxes.
Yeah. And you know, we're going into this nerdy thing about Amazon catalog. I got to tell you, I talked to somebody at Amazon a couple months ago. Their words were exactly, they're frustrated with their own catalog situation at Amazon when they try to make changes internally. And so if they're frustrated, the employees that work at Amazon have problems making those changes themselves, like not the India folks who can't, they're not empowered to make change, but internally in Brooklyn or back in Seattle to make these changes, something's wrong if they can't do it.
So the way that it works over at Amazon, obviously left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. That's why they butt heads. But like the tier 1 catalog support is forced to follow the rules and do copy paste garbage, forced to do it. And once they get to the tier 4, like the high tier, they're told ignore every rule, solve every problem, break every rule. And so obviously there's this massive amount of chaos, which is why there's no transparency, and it's a giant walking paradox.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Maybe we'll get a magic wand to fix that if Jeff comes back into the helm. We actually have somebody that has a question for you.
Yeah, we got a special guest.
A special guest.
Whoa.
Okay, special guest. It's what special guest? Welcome to What the Tech Show. What's your question today for our special guest, our other special guest, Stephen Pope?
So thank you, Rolando and Dave. I am Eddie, powered by ChatGPT in the voice of a Filipino VA. All right.
Whoa.
Eddie,
awesome.
nice to have you.
Nice to have you, man. So it looks like we outsourced Eddie to the Philippines.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, Eddie, what's your question today?
Mr. Pope, if there were a Mount Rushmore for leaders in the Amazon world, I would have you, Kevin King, Chad Rubin, and who would you think would be the 4th person of this Mount Rushmore of Amazon leaders?
Wow, that is a great question.
That's a good one. Those are some serious names up there, Eddie. He scraped the internet for that. My goodness.
That's a good one. I'm going to put Kevin Sanderson. I think he's such a great Amazon leader. I bought his company.
Wasn't that your recent acquisition?
Yeah, he's now the new vice president of marketing. And so he has the leading, I don't know how fast your AI can work. Can they put the picture up that quick? Let's see.
But we'll ask him, Kevin Sanderson. Look him up, bot.
No, I guess we can do like a banner.
There you go.
He is.
But in any case, he has the leading summit for online learning. And then obviously the synergy with that, I had to pick him up. And he's a great guy. We've met each other many times. Maximizing e-commerce and Kevin Sanderson. I would love him to be on Mount Rushmore with me.
Awesome. Cool. Kevin Sanderson. Big props to Kevin Sanderson. Awesome. I don't know if we were thinking about this before you came about who did I put there? I actually would put a robot there if it was me, only because, like you said earlier, this is a game changer. There's Eddie. Oh my God, Eddie. How'd you do that? How'd you pull that off?
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
So Eddie, I'd put
arm. I love it. We're doing some shoulder exercises here.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, some shoulder exercises. There you go, Eddie. Oh my goodness, boy! I think we sent the outsourcing right here on this one here. Boy, he could do a whole lot, and there'll be even stuff that I don't even know he could do. So thank you, Eddie, for coming on the show today and asking our special guest your question. All right, let's continue.
Thank you, Ro. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Stephen. Sign out.
All right. Thank you.
To work.
Get to work, Eddie. That's right.
We'll have to bring him back to do some Rick and Morty skits.
Absolutely.
And I got so many questions. I know that we don't have all day to get to them all.
Oh, go for it.
Something I want to ask you, and it has to do with returns. So I manage a team of people within the customer service and sales side of things and a returns warehouse. We do merchant fulfilled and also FBA. I'm curious to ask, returns, Stephen.
No matter what your question is, the answer is going to be the cost of doing business.
Returns, yep, returns is a bad word. It's the new F word. So I'm just asking, it's about strategy. So which strategy can recover the most cost with the least amount of pain when it comes to product returns?
This is changing this month because it's now going to cost twice as much to do removal orders out of Amazon. I still think it's the best move, but it's definitely not as good as it was in 2022. So if you look at the tiers and the systems, liquidation should be the last option. I've never met somebody that can recommend a liquidator. They are just buying things for penny on the dollar, which is basically why using the liquidation button inside of Amazon is just as good. Donate it to charity, whatever. But returns, especially if you have a tech product, the more likely you need to personally inspect that before it goes back into the inventory, or you're going to have customer CX problems.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So my current recommendation, and by the way, it's the cost of doing business, no matter how you look at this, it sucks, is have all returns go back to you. You personally inspect them, and then you figure out what you can salvage. And sometimes maybe the box is damaged, but the item's good, and you rebox it. Mm-hmm. Other times, holy crap, they took my motherboard and bent the pins and then put it in a box and shipped it back.
Or put the wrong product, not even yours.
That happens all the time. Like 1 out of 200 orders, I think, the returns. So like I keep those items at my house for fun.
We got a Nintendo Switch the other day that came back as a return in the box of the returns. And we don't even sell Nintendo Switches.
Wow. That just became the new party trick at the office.
You must be keeping that for yourself, Rolando.
I have it. It's over here on the shelf.
How does that even happen? Like, a customer's not going to willingly try and ship back a $200, $300 technology piece.
I bet somebody that's at one of those facilities where they process their returns just said, I don't have to go over here in that box. Put it over here. Just in the box. That's it. Just put it in that box. Don't worry. Just get it out of here.
KPIs. They're going to hire a robot and replace me if I don't do this. What are we going to do?
That's right. No, we've gotten all kinds of weird stuff come back.
You get a Nintendo, Rolando. I'll tell you, the last time the warehouse contacted me for something that shouldn't have been received was a pair of men's slacks. Asked for the size, and they said, why? I'm like, because if they fit me, I'm going to want those slacks.
Oh, no.
What else are you going to do with it? Resell it? Scan the LPN number? By the way, for 4 years, the number one traffic generator for my entire company was, what is an LPN number? That article.
Yeah.
On the internet. And so if you're wondering, an LPN number is the barcode that they put on the return.
And that's the first four. It'll say LPN before it's the leading digits before they give you the actual serial number.
Yeah, basically it's a license plate number.
It's come from a return facility.
Correct.
Wow.
So if a customer ever gets something that has an LPN sticker on it, it's been returned to Amazon at least once.
Could have been more. But yeah, that's one of those things I wish I had a magic wand that they could fix. The grading system, I've just saw some sentiment around the grading system of choosing what items are good to resell on the platform through the Amazon warehouse, that it's totally broken. They're supposed to fix a lot of this. It has not. And sellers that didn't want stuff being resold are seeing those products resold that are in no good condition to be resold.
And of course, that doesn't make sense because what's Amazon's main prerogative? It's not like Google, do no evil. They got rid of that, by the way. At Amazon, it's what's in the best interest of the customer. So when a system like this is not in the best interest of the customer, it makes you wonder, why are they not fixing it? Why are they not doing root cause analysis?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. That's what I give it, an because I don't understand why that is. You'd think they have smart people over there, but they don't always do smart things. I'm going to give you something that I just heard just yesterday around that. This person was telling me that not too long ago, Purina One basically made a big fuss about Purina One and other sellers that are on the platform. Amazon obliged to some extent and said, okay, we're going to weed out this. The word one, because it's part of Purina One, was programmed into the bots. Thousands of sellers in listings went off that have nothing to do with dog food and in a bunch of other categories because the word one was.
I personally witnessed 3 of those myself. And
there you go.
We had 57 clients get that notice.
Can you believe that nonsense? Not even dog food. I'm sure these clients weren't dog food.
Totally broken. like you mentioned earlier in the podcast in the intro, like you're worried about 2-day Prime. It became 5-day Prime last July. Like without 2-day Prime, there is no Amazon brand.
I don't know what's going to happen with all these people being let go. Obviously, they're closing warehouses down because they see an overcapacity. But the promise was that drones would get this dropped in an hour or two. Prime, you signed up under the premise that you're getting 2-day delivery. But I got to tell you, I order all the time personally and part of the business for supplies and stuff. I just keep seeing fewer products in that 2-day transit time for delivery. And more is like free delivery with Prime, and you don't really know it's coming 2 days. That's just free. It could be 3, it could be 4. I love Voss Water. Big props at Voss Water if you want to do something with the channel. Do you know how many times it doesn't even come? Just flat out telling you. The case never came.
All I know is it's not Optimus Prime right now. All I know.
Indeed.
By the way, did you guys know that's voiced by Eeyore? The original Optimus Prime was voiced by Eeyore.
No kidding.
Yeah. It blew my mind when I figured that out.
So we went from this evil guy to a dope, sick donkey.
Good guy. Optimus Prime was the good guy.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Optimus Prime. I should have known. That was my first Transformer.
Octobots assemble. Right. So yeah, the death of Prime is coming, guys. Just like Google's dying, Amazon's dying. Now, obviously, I'm biased to want everybody to sell on Amazon. Now, here's the thing. I don't know who's going to beat Amazon. I actually don't know what the replacement looks like. Target, probably a sleeper. They have potential. Walmart, fat chance. So Amazon is entering its maturity phase, and they're starting to relax. Relaxing will lead to further innovation, and somebody will take them out probably in 5 years.
Yeah,
they will not be number one at what they do in 5 years. That is my prediction.
It's possible. Let's get into that. TikTok is making noise about trying to do something where they could use their platform, which is the number one consumed social media app on the market right now, and adding something with fulfillment. They're bringing people in from Amazon. Do you think they have the potential or the wherewithal to really make a dent in this whole thing?
Yes, everybody is paying attention to TikTok. YouTube is pushing monetization in YouTube Shorts right now.
Okay.
Twitter is bringing back video and all of the Vine and everything else that they were doing, right? So yes, TikTok is massive. They took I don't even know what the right stat is, but it feels like about 1/3 of all ad revenue is going to TikTok in the general space. Could be off on that number. And they're stealing it from Facebook. They're stealing it from Google. They're stealing it from YouTube and everywhere else. So it's a matter of time. So we don't know what the physical mechanism, but there will have to be some sort of acquisition. The only thing that will stop TikTok from being a top 4 horseman, as it were, is if regulation steps in. But we all know that our government's in bed with China, and they're not going to prevent TikTok from taking over.
Even on its face, the banning, and just let me just tell you, Stephen, the ban on government accounts that can't put them on their smartphone, that's where the noise is at. It's the state of Florida, the state of Georgia says none of our Georgia-owned smartphones can use TikTok, which in the aggregate is a teeny portion of the pie. It's really all about the optics rather than the reality. Because if the state of Georgia or Florida or Texas or wherever, they were really serious, they would introduce serious regulation when it comes to social media, not just TikTok, and privacy concerns. So this is all about optics right now and no teeth.
I have to concur. So that's the only reason TikTok would fail. It's inevitable going to succeed without regulation interference. And Facebook may not even be a company 2 or 3 years from now. They might be MySpace within 2 years.
Whoa, you are making some bold predictions. I got to tell you, some bold predictions.
Apple killed them. Apple's one of the 4 horsemen. So it takes a new 4 horsemen to knock out a current one. Facebook has lost its 4 horsemen status. They're out. TikTok's in.
Right. Yes. And if they become vertically integrated, which is what I think you were talking about with Amazon, Amazon's vertically integrated from the last mile all the way to the platform and everywhere in between. If TikTok is able to get vertically integrated so that they could deliver goods, use their platform for essentially advertising, then that may be a challenger. But that's a lot. I mean, logistics. What's the dirtiest part of doing Amazon? Catalog and logistics.
No doubt about it.
How is TikTok going to pull that off? Logistics and keeping everything straight, supply chain and
partnership, merger, or acquisition.
Yeah. Maybe they buy a bunch of Amazon warehouses, bring a bunch of their people. Maybe they buy some other assets to beef them up. Who knows? Maybe they buy like a QVC so they have more outlets. TV, I don't know. Who knows?
Someone's got to buy Walmart at some point, right?
You think the Walton family is going to let the Chinese folks? I mean, they're about as homegrown apple pie as you can get, right?
Everybody has a price. And so like Walmart tried to beat Amazon and lost. We're not even talking close of a loss. It was a bloodbath, like avalanche loss. They bought Jet, couldn't integrate the tech. Hey, I don't know if you guys, have you guys ever done Walmart grocery pickup?
I have never done Walmart grocery pickup.
I've never talked to somebody who thinks it's a good service. It sucks. I've personally done Walmart grocery pickup and sat in my car for 45 minutes. Now, every time that I go to Target grocery pickup, I'm in and out in under 5.
Yeah.
Not a single time has that not been true.
Whole Foods has been good too. I've done Whole Foods pickup. 0 problems on the Whole Foods pickup as well.
So Walmart doesn't care about tech, and they don't care about trying to be anything except a low price economic solution. So they're coming in from a low price angle. So I don't think Walmart's going to be moving up to be a competitor to Amazon ever. In fact, I think they already lost. And we'd have to go backwards in time to look at legacy platforms like eBay. There's some niche sites like House and Wayfair, and some of those sites do really well, but they're also super niche. And then you got some no-name marketplaces like Price Falls, Rakuten, and other things. And then Etsy is another really cool one.
Yeah.
Etsy is really strong. But not a single one of those is ever going to beat Amazon. Not any of them. Not even if they combined forces, they wouldn't even have the same.
It'd be a big mess if they ended up doing that. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. So somebody's going to have to come along and invest in the infrastructure or take over somebody's bad infrastructure, right? I don't know. Whatever happened to Sears buildings? What's going to happen to all of this office space in the cities that nobody's going to ever return to because I work from home and buy tech products from you guys?
There you go. Maybe that's a word for Eddie Lampert. He'd be the guy, Sears /JCPenney, that could pull a trigger on that. Maybe get a TikTok to come in, take almost all their real estate, have all the locations, and or then maybe do a partnership with one of the carriers, FedEx, somebody else.
Oh, the guy that puts out the Halloween shop every October. Like, where are they getting their space? Put him in charge.
Space.
Exactly. Steven, we have this segment that we call the rapid fire segment.
Oh, this is my favorite.
I'm going to give you a phrase or a word. And all we want is the first thing that's in your mind. All right? The first word or thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready? Let me put
away.
Here we go. FBA.
Amazon.
Amazon advertising.
Expensive.
Ooh. Chinese sellers.
Go away. Die. Bribery. Cheating.
Oh, you're going to love this one. Amazon seller support.
Sucks. That was the easiest one so far.
Amazon Q&A video responses.
Up and coming.
Okay. Drone deliveries.
Might never happen.
We touched on this one, but I want to get to Walmart versus Amazon.
Laughable.
Elon Musk.
A good guy.
Okay. The future of Alexa.
AI.
Okay. And last one, Jeff Bezos.
I'm starting to look like him.
Hey, there you go. There you go. All right. So we got through that very easily. We got just a few more minutes.
By
Go
the
ahead.
way,
You wanna
if
say
you
something?
Google Amazon guy,
Yeah.
I come up before Jeff Bezos.
Nice. That's what you call SEO right there.
I'm number one. He's number two. I think I'm more important, I think,
Serious SEO.
in Google points, but maybe not
Nice.
the AI future.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I heard recently. Let me see if you can concur on this one. Actually, just yesterday, that the Jeff at Amazon email still works.
It does.
But one of the keys to that is two things that I heard this person say. You want to address not Jeff, dear Jeff, or any of that. Just say, dear executive seller relations, because the
True.
people that work there understand you know what you're talking about.
That's true.
Okay. And the other thing that they said that's helpful for the folks that send this email, have your seller ID ready in the email. Is that
Not
true?
important.
Not important?
What is important is to give them the case ID. So the case ID where you've tried to go through the normal routine process and you've escalated 3 times and seller support sucks so bad that you had to escalate to them. Amazon's a culture of escalation. So it's acceptable to escalate and their system is completely bonkers broken and they know it. Came out with the captive team, got rid of it. They've come out with other special team names that I can't even remember. They'll show up for 6 months and then go away. But the root problem is, like, if you talk to the people in charge of seller support and you say, hey, what's the number one big problem that sellers have today? They can't answer that question. They simply do not know that it's impossible to change a brand name, a UPC change, and some of these other challenges that sellers have, even though they created the problem.
And I think part of that is that although they know their customer, they don't know sellers, because selling on
They don't
their
care
platform
about
is
sellers.
totally different than customers' experiences. And so it's just not there. The investment's not, obviously it's not there. And the people that are in charge of the programs, they don't come from the seller side and come to Amazon. But imagine there's probably a teeny little fraction floating around, but they're mostly not sellers. So they don't operationally understand what sellers are struggling with. And so they bring in smart people, but they don't quite understand the nature of the problem.
Which is why the Amazon aggregators, which dumped in, I don't know, $10 billion into the Amazon space and then bought up all these Amazon brands. And then the aggregators went and hired people who used to work at Amazon and then they failed. Who could have imagined why? Because hiring Excel file people that can do arbitrage in an Excel file and make up numbers are not the people that actually run accounts. Amazon sellers are made of tenacity and grit. So if you don't hire for tenacity and grit to work on your Amazon accounts, good luck. You're out.
No doubt, no doubt. And that leads me into asking you, you've got a couple of ventures. You've got your live. You've also got your Pope Plus that you just launched for sellers to get in touch with that. What's that all about, your Pope Plus?
So I'm going for vertical control in the space. Every time, by the way, there's a really good business book called The Blue Ocean, right? I don't pay attention to any of my competitors. There is not any competitor on my list that I pay attention to, not a single one. All I do is I ask customers, what do you want? And then I give it to them. And customers keep telling me they want X, so I give them X. They wanted to be in touch with me, and my full service agency would not allow me to scale my body on 300 accounts. So what I did is I created Pope Plus, which you can get access over at popeplus.com. And you'll be in a Slack community. We're having Wednesday night weekly meetings, and I post all of my SOPs. And it's a very different flavor of a service, and it's brand new. So hopefully some Amazon sellers listening sign up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You are one of the busiest guys I know. You keep launching, like you said, you keep launching services. You've got your podcast. You've got other things going on. Man, I want to know, what's the secret sauce that keeps you going?
System building, and you got to know your why. right? So I got 4 kids, 7 and under. I'm making an Amazon brand for every single one of them. So my daughter's going to get Age of Sage. My oldest son's going to get Hunter's Hijinks, and Bruce is going to get Bruce Box. And we have trademarks and we have product lines, and we're building out all these cool different things. And so at the end of the day, like if I hold on to all of my entities and all of my assets, I have protection. Nobody can tell me what to do. I don't have to answer to the man. And if the Chinese government and the US government have a trade war, it doesn't matter. I pivot my services over to wherever we can. So I also own my warehouse guy, my refund guy, and the list goes on. So it's about vertical control. It's about having relentless autonomy. And obviously not every single one of these business ventures makes me money. Some of them are just a work in progress.
Well, kudos to you, because you're brave in taking those risks. And it leads me to just ask the natural question. You work with so many Amazon accounts, so many brands, you've met so many people. What would you say if you were to sum up a few phrases about what are the traits of those companies that do really well on the platform? What are those like? And then what are the ones that crash and burn?
So the seller needs to have tenacity and grit, and then the brand needs to offer value. It's as simple as that. And we only practice the basics of traffic and conversion elements, and the sellers and the brands that practice the black hat stuff, they do really well for a time and then they burn out. And so those are the ones that get just totally beat up by the algorithm change. But if we need to summarize the pillars of Amazon, traffic in the form of PPC and SEO, and then design and catalog management in the form of conversion elements. And you could pepper in some logistics and finance and all that stuff too, but that's the marketing pillars of Amazon. So that's what you got to do to be successful. The ones that don't do well are a Me Too product that offer nothing to the customer. They don't bring a brand, they don't bring a luxury, they don't bring an experience, and they don't do anything different. That is the Alibaba model. Drop shippers, also that model is now completely broken. Amazon's hostile to your model. And you need to go private label at this day and age in 2023.
Very interesting. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from Stephen Pope. Dave, was there anything else you wanted to add?
I have 100 other questions, but we don't have time. Listen, if I can ask one quick question, though. Who has the advantage? Sellers who have expertise in the products that they sell and the market.
That one wins. Whatever you're about to say, that one wins.
And then the other was just sellers that are able to procure and sell at a low cost.
Expertise will always win. And that there's so many reasons why that we don't have time to go into, but experts who stick to what they know do better. Do you want to be the bunny rabbit that tries to learn to swim? No. You want to be the bunny rabbit that is faster than a jackrabbit on the safari, right? Just stick to what you know. Now, if your expertise happens to be procurement, you might win the debate. But in terms of like your knowledge set, stick to products you understand. If you're a nationally ranked chess player, sell chess sets. If you are a guy who programmed MS-DOS back in the day, stick to tech products. Stick to what you know. Best advice I'll ever give anybody trying to sell on Amazon.
100%. I can't agree more. Would concur. And don't listen to the idiots that tell you to go to a tool, look up the highest ranked category and the volume, and then go to Alibaba.
Fidget spinners. Fidget spinners.
Don't do that. You're going to crash and burn and just burn money. Just burn money. Stephen Pope, you have said so much today. I enjoyed the time we spent together today. And we've been talking to Stephen Pope, master guru, subject matter expert.
I'm just an Amazon guy, guys.
Oh, no. You could be polite and not brag. You know, you're not a braggadocious kind of guy. But in talking to other people and how you've helped them and a bunch of other sellers and what you do with your information and being just way more, because you could keep those secrets to yourself. There's a lot of stuff that you put out that I'm like, holy crap, he's giving away the kingdom. Shh, don't say that. Put that inside behind a gated group that's got to pay for that, right? But you share that with the entire world. So I'm grateful for you because we've taken some of what you've said and it's made a big difference in our business. So
that's all I need in return is just hearing that we help make the world go round, because it's not me against you. It's all of us against Amazon.
No doubt. And so we've been talking to Stephen Pope. If folks want to get a hold of you or your agency, where can they go?
myamazonguy.com. You want to send an email over to us? You can also email us at podcasts@myamazonguy.com. That does go directly to me. Pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you coming on today. And if you want to listen to more of this episode, just hit the replay button, and you got a lot of nuggets today from Stephen Pope. Go ahead and do that. But if you want more, we touched on other past guests like Chad Rubin and Seneca Hampton. You'll find all of those guests at circuitloops.com or wherever you consume your podcasts. And we'll see you there. And thanks again for tuning in today.
We'll see you guys.
All righty. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to What the Tech. Be sure to check out our other episodes featuring awesome tech and amazing guests. Find them on circuitloops.com or wherever you consume your favorite podcasts.